So, welcome to my technical discussion. The agenda for today is semantic versioning. And this is part two from what we discussed the last time. We are introduced the concept of major, minor, and patch versions, and the tools that we're using and the concepts behind the commit messages. So today's agenda is going to focus primarily on practicals, especially in context to developers. So I will show how we are going to make merge requests for features, merge requests for fixes, merge requests for breaking changes. And we're also going to, before that, we're just going to do a little discussion on the theory behind it. So let's get started. So the wiki for the documentation for all what we are doing is in this URL here. And let's go through it. So when you're making, all of us are familiar with merge requests. When we are making merge requests, our merge request title or commit message is what is going to determine our version number. So going forward, this is the style we want for our commit messages, where you tell us the type and give a description of the commit you're making. If it's a fix, you make a fix and give a description of it. If it's a feature, if it's a breaking change, you add the breaking change here and any additional information that is needed. So here's the summary of the commit types. We have the breaking change, which will bump major, fit will bump minor, and the rest of them will bump the patch number. So here are a few examples of how the commit messages will. When I talk of commit messages, just keep in mind I'm talking of the merge request titles will look like. So say for example, I'm making a breaking change. I could sum it up like this. So a feature, and I'm going to give a breaking change and give a brief description of it. And yeah, a few others. So for example, if I'm actually working on a particular subset of my service, I could add a optional scope where I'm going to give a brief description of it. And if I want to do a multi-paragraph commit message, we give the type, the description, and any of the information we need to know about it. And yeah, here's the meat of our discussion today. I'm going to demo how all this works. So say, for example, we are starting from a fresh branch that has a 0.1.0. From there, we create two subset branches, develop and staging. Develop is going to be alpha and staging is going to be our beta. Now, as a developer, I am working on one feature and that developer is working on feature 2. So when feature 1 is ready to merge, I make my commits, several commits. Maybe this is to add the additional feed. Maybe this first commit is to add the feature. This next one is to fix a bug. This one is for styling, and this is final improvement. So when I commit back to develop using the styles that are defined here, I'm going to get since I'm working on a feature branch, I'm going to increment with the appropriate label of fit, I'm going to have an increment of my minor number. So it's going to be 0.2 dot alpha 1. Then when feature 2 is ready to merge to the develop branch, the developer makes his merge request as well, which bumps the number of commits alpha 2. So afterwards, after the code has been well tested, everybody likes it, and we feel it's ready to move on to perhaps community testers, we merge to staging. So our alpha 2 suffix drops and then becomes beta. Afterwards, say everybody's okay with it and we feel it's ready to go live. We merge into main, then which drops all the other suffixes and gets the becomes a full semantic version number. So the cycle starts over again. We then get here, we start 0.2.0, then this becomes 2.0, beta 1, and the rest and the rest. The cycle starts all over again. So, and say, for example, I'm making a hotfix. My hotfix takes directly from the main and goes through the same cycle. Alpha 2 becomes 3, then merges here, then since it's a fix, it's going to bump the minor number. Yeah, that's the meat. That's the general idea. Now, for a demo. Now we have a repository that we are going to use for our demo here. Here, so at the moment we have our main branch is at 0.2.1. In this demo, we are going to focus mainly on a feature branch and develop and main. We're going to drop staging so as just to not to waste too much time. So that is, I make my feature or my fix or my breaking chain directly to develop, and from develop, I merge to main so we can see the results faster. So just a minute, I'm bringing this to the other side. So here I am on a develop branch. So my develop right now is on alpha 2, alpha 1, sorry. But my develop right now is on alpha 1. If I make a virtual branch commit into this, I'm gonna bump this. Yeah, let's do that actually. So first of all, as a developer, I take the latest develop. I see it's up to date, then I check out.
Is it possible to zoom the terminal text?
Yep. It's better?
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So I check out. So say for example, this change is, I'm gonna make very simple test because I don't know much Go. All right, so I am gonna do a so yeah, I make my commit. Then I see that, oh, something is wrong. I'm gonna make another commit. Let's see. All right, so here I've already made a feature to add the world to this program. So I am gonna push my changes. So here I am. I have already pushed my changes. So here we change our branches to develop. So what we did is that right here, and when you make commits to your branch, it does a Docker build in this case, or a binary build first to ensure that your program is working properly. But it's not going to push to our container registry or push to package registry. So if there are any problems with your build right here, you can be able to make fixes before we push it into our container registry. So we see that the pipeline is complete. And yeah, we see that our pipeline is complete. And yeah, we're ready to move it to develop. So as I mentioned here, if you want a feature, we bump minor. If you want a fix. So this is going to be a feature. So if I want, I could add optional description, set the assignee, and delete the source branch. Finally, we are going to merge, we are going to squash commits. The reason why we're squashing commits is that, as you can see during my development cycle, I was making a lot of commit messages that were not really relevant to what the feature that we're doing. For example, I did a cleanup, or I added this parameter, I did this. So if you have all of those commit messages, we could bloat our change log. So that's why we are going to squash it to one single commit message, which is right here. So we open our merge request. So at this stage, we could add optional parameters, optional description we want, so as to provide more context to the feature we are developing. But we just wait for this to complete. So at the moment, when I started, I said that our main branch is on 0.2.1 and our develop is on 0.2.2. So when we make a commit to develop, we are gonna get an increment of a 2. Yeah, we are ready to go. So I just refresh my page. I delete my source branch squash, then I merge. So the next thing is now to, as I said, we are going to skip the staging branch. We are just going to move this our changes into main. So by the time we move our feature branch to main, we should get an increment of our minor number. But as I should point out, the moving from develop to staging or main is something that will be done by Janina or Dagim as seen fit. But for a developer's perspective, using the correct merge request title and messages are very, very important to get the correct version number.
Exactly. And just to inform, on develop, we have the alpha, and on staging, we have beta. Right, Olaf?
Yes, correct. So when, for example, you wish to actually test a problem with your staging, with a container or a binary on staging, you will just pick the specific version. Say, for example, version. Let's look for one with beta. I'll just pick it up, and that way I know this is what is on staging. Then alpha is on develop branch, and I can test using that suffix. I think our thing should be done here. All right, yeah. So as once we are here, we will see that our next version has been moved. Our feature has bumped our minor number. So now we move this change to develop. So we make a new merge request. So this time we move it to main.
Yes, and this, as you said, Ola, the dev team will not do that. This is made by Dagin or me usually.
Yes. Okay, so we can actually skip this merge and do it manually, right? So as to show the fix and breaking change. Yeah. Let's carry on. Actually, sorry about that.
Yes, I think it's better do it with mesh request Ola.
Yeah. So. I don't know whether it's a problem with Firefox or something, but okay. Okay, so now we move. From my tests, I've seen that at this point, there's usually there's no requirement to fit to the semantic versioning titling when it's time to move from develop to staging and to main. But here we go. Okay, so I don't delete my source branch, so we create a merge request. All right, so we merge. Sorry, 1 minute. I just want to confirm something. Build clients. Okay. I was worried. I didn't see my pipeline. All right, so yep, get my next version 0.3. Yeah, so it has given me 0.3.0.
Yes,
So
Ola, please show the tag that it's being automatically created too, the tag on repository.
yeah, so once it has made a release, you have the tag of your version number. So from here, you could Say, for example, we wanted to make, say, for example, for NuNet, we have a maintenance, maybe a long-term support version of a long-term support version. So from here, we could say 0.3.0 is the one we wish to support for maybe 5 years. From here, we could be making our changes towards, we could branch out from this specific tag and be making changes back towards this specific version number. And yeah, this tag that is also created will be, say, for example, you are deploying a Docker image. Unfortunately, my demo here will just focus only on Docker because it's very, very straightforward to set up. And you will have it right here. So now we have our main has been bumped. We added a new feature that has been bumped to 0.3.0. Now going forward, there's a requirement to this is for the general and the game. Basically, there is a requirement that after a merge has been made to main, it needs to be back merged to develop and staging. So next week we'll work on a fix for that, whereby it automatically merges back all the change to change log and everything into develop. If not, you're gonna have conflicts like we are about to see right now. So I've pulled what I have from main. Now I'm checking back to develop. Now I merge what I've made to main into here. Oh, voila, thank God. So all good for this. We've back merged and all the changes we've made should go back. All the changes we have should be pushed back. Now, good. We as a developer, again, we take our latest and best from the develop. This time around, we are making a hot fix. No, a patch or a fix, yeah, correct. So check out. So here once again, I make a little change. So I say fix problematic wording, right? Then I push. Right. So we make another merge request for this fix. So once again, our pipeline runs to tell us our build worked successfully or not. So, but this time around, I make my fix. Assigned to me, and delete source branch. We're gonna squash as well. Now, there's going to be clarification going forward about the use of this description field, whether what kind of things to put there going forward. But for now, just freestyle. Maybe if you want to give better information about it, but I'm not sure it goes into the change log as of now. But it is definitely recommended to provide a better description of what the merge request is doing. So we make a fix. We expect this time to have 0.3.1 alpha 1. or alpha 2. Yeah, alpha 1. Yeah, so our merge request is building up. So far, I believe no questions. It's pretty straightforward. Then, yeah, we're good to go. We merge. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I pushed to main. I'm sorry. I should have pushed to develop. That is why we got. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just showing how we use merge request. So as you can see, since I pushed to main, I got 0.3.1. So all well and good. Actually, let's push to main then. Then we this time around we play around with a breaking change. So now once again we check out to develop. We merge our change to develop just to sorry about that. Come in. We merge our changes from main into develop. We take the best and latest from develop. So right here, we make a very, very small change. Say, for example, we say post. So this definitely changes the way this application works. So, and it's likely going to be breaking change. So according to our guidelines say that for breaking changes, all right, so our breaking change is this. All right, so we push our change. One minute. Okay, so make a merge request. right. So forgive me, I may experiment just a little bit here. So if I say
Uh, Ola, are
sorry,
you merging two main? Is that what you want?
just to be faster, or it's
Okay, no
okay.
problem. Just to make sure.
Yeah, I since it's just faster just to see how
Okay.
the
But
outline works.
just a remark, in the production in production version, I think we have to block this kind of jumping over branches.
It's
Yeah.
blocked. It's
Ah,
because Ola is using a repository for demo. On our
miss.
project, we have staging, develop, and main. And these three repositories, they cannot be removed, or only maintainers can deploy to it, can
Yeah,
mesh to it.
but I mean, can it be somehow? Can we have a rule that from feature branch you cannot merge directly to the staging or to the main? Only with this, like from feature to develop, from develop to staging, from staging to main.
Okay. Okay.
If that makes sense, I think it would be good to protect this kind of things if possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I agree.
Ola, I have one question actually.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I was wondering, this question had been in my mind for a long time. Like, suppose we are working on a branch, on a feature branch, and one developer has two feature branches that they're working on. So, for example, if that person finishes working on feature branch one and also on feature branch 2. So in such scenarios, should we pull if already we are working on a feature branch, should we create another the second feature branch from the first one, or like would that be better instead of pulling from the develop?
Yep, that's a great question. I believe that feature branches are independent because each of them belong to a specific feature. So yeah, I get your context that maybe they could be related, right? But independently, they should stay independently and should only pull from develop. Now, the next area that's after this is to next question will likely be that okay, say for example you've pushed feature one and feature two up to feature six, right? And you don't want to merge all of them
Yeah,
at once,
yeah.
or you don't want to move all of them at once to staging, perhaps. Then that's when we look at the area of perhaps cherry picking certain commits that were made from develop. But my answer is each feature branch should stay independently.
Okay, could you give a short description of what is cherry picking?
Okay. I've not tested it, but let's here we go. Okay, so for example, let me see. We have some branches here. See, okay, good. So let's make one more commit here. So git commit. Um, so we made an empty commit. We'll push this, so breaking change. So now say for example, we're in develop. I'm using the example of develop, but I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. So I go to my commits. I'm assuming this is the, what the hell is that? Yep. So I want only this commit to be merged, right? Into, let's say, for example, I'm a developer. I only want this commit to be merged into main.
Okay.
So I will pick only this commit, right?
Okay.
Only
Okay.
this feature, and I cherry pick it. I use to make a merge request. Then, oh God, can't perform this action automatically. No. Okay. So maybe I need to pull. I'm not sure why. Merge request with those changes. Cherry pick. So I'm not so sure how to do. I will look into it, but I know it's possible. You will
Sure.
pick only one specific comment.
Yeah, I got
And
the idea. Yeah. You can.
Yeah, and usually, Avi, we don't have this scenario that you said, right? Usually, we are working on issues that are small, and we have one feature branch to each feature. If we need to create another feature branch, if it is for a feature that is not related to the first one, we should have as reference the develop, and these two things are separated.
So,
But
Janana, what if those two feature branches are related? Like
okay,
it's a
so
dependency.
okay, so if the second branch, the second feature branch needs to have the code from the first feature branch, then the reference needs to be the first one because you need it. Okay,
Yes.
usually
So we,
it's not common,
okay.
but
So okay.
you can do that. Okay, if it's necessary, you can do that. You can create a feature branch using another one as reference.
Okay. But we need to synchronize with the develop whenever we are pushing anything.
Yes, suppose in this last scenario, the develop will think with the first branch will think with develop. Okay, we will pull from develop to the first branch, and then the first branch to the second branch.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Janana. That's
Okay, and
okay, so let's okay, sorry to break in. So continuing with our breaking change. So breaking changes is going to be quite unique because we cannot add the breaking change tag here, or we cannot start with breaking change. So it will be in such a case, you add the commit message here, then you set your breaking change. This this merge request changes the way REST API calls this endpoint. Right. So now we are interested in updating our. If I want, I could add whatever change, whatever more description I want. So this should bump on. So here we're good. Edited it and we're good. So we merge. 1 minute. Let's just refresh. Refresh. We ensure. Oh, okay. I need to do it again. So we're good to go. Then we merge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm submitting a mistake. Did I do wrong? I'm sorry. Let me make another commit for that again. So let's do a fresh brand new. So where is my source branch? Oh, I deleted it. Sorry about that. So I'll git push. Good. So here we have our breaking change. We're moving to main. Compare. So assign, delete, squash. So the pipeline is done and we just refresh. Did commit messages. Set this.
Ola, did you set the breaking change label?
Um, no, I did not. Okay, yeah, let me bump that. Let me change the label. According to the guidelines, usually the breaking change doesn't usually start as the first one, but maybe I was wrong in that respect. 1 minute. Yeah, I think I got that wrong. So this is done. Yeah, I think I needed to set the label. Have I pushed? Not pushed. Yep, good. Main. Okay, so here we go. The reason why I am hesitant on this is that our tool that we are currently using has um, a unique way of dealing with breaking changes. So it's by default it automatically increments the minor numbers, and it has a special flag for dealing with when you are ready to stop initial development. So sorry about that. I've seen the tool here. So according to our tool, it says that when you're actually ready to start moving to major, you have to set a parameter. So once this is set, it will start allowing changes to major. So forgive me, let me add that quickly. So this should allow breaking changes to work. False, mask, mask. Yep, so it says that anything. Okay, so let me run one more pipeline. Should bump one more time. Mm. I'm sorry, I just don't understand what's going on with breaking changes, but I will look into that shortly. Breaking changes has not been an area I've tested very, very much, so that's why things are a bit iffy in respect to that. But feature branches and fixes are things that are well tested, and if we follow the guidelines on the way to write merge request labels, it should work as expected.
Okay, Yola. Very good, thank you. And I think now we can open for questions if someone wants to make some question for Ola.
So what about DMS version of the DMS package? Is it somehow related to this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
so should I answer that? Hello? Should I answer it?
Yes, Ola. Do you want to answer, Kabir?
Okay, DMS. As I said in this demo, we are doing Docker releases, but here's what is going to happen for projects like DMS. So we are working on a little, this is a bit technical, but the first step we do before running a build is we first calculate the next version number and we store it as an artifact, right? So whenever we want to run our binary, when we are ready to run our binary, this artifact that is stored here, we pick it up. Here's an example of how we did it in our release Docker. So we said our release version is equals to cat this. So something similar to that will occur for binary. In this case, we are going to do from right here, we're going to run a mint.sh, then pass in version is equals to the release version. Then inside the project mint.sh, it's supposed to pick this argument and use it for its build.
Okay, got it. So basically, it's not related to any language. It's, I mean,
No.
you it in Dash. Yeah, understood.
Yeah. So before we go, we as I said, we are looking at a way to deal with back merging so that you don't need to be dealing with conflicting commits. So because for develop to know that the latest version is 0.3, rather than say, for example, our develop is currently on 0.2.0, it needs to know that the main branch is on 0.3. So we need to back merge the changes from main into develop. So we are working on a way to automate that.
No caso dos motoristas de aplicativo, é quando o bandido se passa por passageiro. Os assaltantes pedem uma viagem e assim que entram no carro, apontam a arma para o motorista e anunciam um assalto.
I wonder what is this language?
It is Portuguese.
Portuguese, right?
Okay. Okay, Ola, doing this backwards automatically will be very good. And we also want to create the release automatically when we push to main. Okay, this is another improvement on the pipeline.
Yes, and just to know, this workflow is not live yet because these changes that were made right now are still they are still currently under a feature branch on NuNet Infra. So when we are live, we will move to develop, and you will get to see the changes automatically.
Okay, we will inform the that channel when it's working, and then the dev team will start using labels to do commits.
Understood.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ola, for your explanations regarding semantic versioning. Very good. And if no more questions, we see you next meeting.
Thank you all.
Thank you.